Hi folks, and welcome to my RC channel. Now, what have I got for you today? Right, well, let's talk about batteries. Now, this is nothing new. These have been around for a while, but I don't think a lot of people really either trust them or know much about them. But I'm going to be doing a review on these Turnigy nanotechs. Now, the reason why I'm doing a review on these is I did all my testing and my research and all that, and I got put onto these by someone that was getting a lot of flight time out of their FPV quadcopter, and although he was editing 3 flights into one, he put me onto these batteries, and I'll go into that in a minute. But what's special about these batteries? Well, how about if I tell you that they give you slightly more power, probably about 20% more power. They're smaller, they're lighter, and they last longer. A 300 milliamp an hour battery will behave like a 500 milliamp an hour battery, and I know this because I've gone out today and I've done some flights, and I don't know if you can see that, but I've got my trusty stopwatch and I timed each flight and each battery different milliamp an hours, and I compared them to the original, and the 500 behaves more like a 750, and a 300, as I said, will behave like a 500. Now these are 25 to 50 C. Okay, normally a 300 milliamp an hour battery, and this is a standard one, will be about 30 C. These are 25 to 50 discharge rate, so it gives you sort of more full throttle or more punch, but it doesn't sag as much as a battery, you know. Now these standard ones, these standard LiPo batteries, they're perfect for line of sight, but the reason I'm reviewing these is I got quite into FPV flying, and the problem with FPV flying is if you use a standard battery, especially one like this, which is a 260 milliamp an hour battery, which goes on a whoop, they don't last long. And the reason why is because the battery is powering the motors, but the camera is taking a lot of the energy out of the battery as well. And even though it's on 25 milliamp, it will reduce the flight time quite considerably, and if you're recording, even more so. But that's mainly the FPV goggles. So I've come up with a solution that a 300 milliamp an hour battery, being as it's so small, and I shall take this one out here. Right, this is a 300 milliamp an hour one, same rating, 25 to 50 C. This is your standard battery. Look at the difference in the size. It's considerably smaller. It's about the same thickness, but look at that. Yet that will perform like a 500. So that, if this was a standard 500, this has got the same power as that, yet it's smaller. And it's so small, it will fit in a tiny whoop. Now, what 300 milliamp an hour battery, standard battery, do you know that will fit in a whoop? Because clearly it won't. See? And you know, this could be any whoop. It doesn't have to be an EO. This is an E-sheet EO 10, but sorry, EO 13. But it doesn't matter. All the whoops are the same. But lo and behold, it does fit, and it still gives you plenty of room to put the plug in. Now the only problem being, of course, that this is a low C connector, and that's an MCPX connector, I do believe. So the only thing you're going to have to do is get hold of a female version of this and solder it onto the flight board where the connector is, if you know what I mean. On the other side of the connector, where the plug is, just solder it on top, and then you've got the choice of going back to the original type batteries and plugging it in, or you could plug this one in. So you've got the choice, and I will be doing that conversion on this. But look, it fits. Now the other reason why this is such a good conversion for it is because of its low discharge rate. It'll give you more flight time, which means that you'll be able to fly at kind of like half to full throttle or whatever. You know, you can use your thrust to stay up, and it won't sag the battery as much because of discharge rate. So you should, in theory, get the same flight time as if it didn't have a camera on it. And these are actually lighter as well. So as they're smaller, they're not as light as this. This is just a typical one. This is a 7.6, and I think this is just over 8. I think it's 8.1. So there's nothing in it. There's nothing in it at all. But because this has got the power and the lastability, it will make the flight time considerably more. And it doesn't have to be a Whoop style. It could be any FPV, one cell. Well, it doesn't even matter about one cell, because they do these batteries in 2 cell, 3 cell, 4 cell, so on. They do them for any battery type. The old nanotechs, they do them for everything. So, and the good thing is, they're not that much dearer than a standard battery. Now, I have heard on aeroplanes and stuff like that where it doesn't use, you know, like a quadcopter's got 4 propellers, it's got 4 motors, so therefore it's got to power all that up. On an aeroplane, it's only got one thing it's got to power, and that's the motor. Same with a helicopter, you know, it's only got 2 motors it's got to power up. So you'll get even longer time out of them. So it's a crazy win-win situation. I mean, it's a no-brainer, really, isn't it? You know, it costs the same, it's lighter, lasts longer, and you know, it's smaller. What's there not to like about it? Right, so yeah, so that's that. So it's, you know, it's mainly for longer flight times on FPV, unless you want to, you know, I've flown a helicopter on this little tiny 300, and I got exactly 10 minutes out of it, and that was going full throttle. Even my 500 milliamp an hour battery, my long one, was only doing about 9 minutes, something like that. So I got an extra minute out of that, out of a battery which is, well, close to half the size, and you know, nearly half the milliamp you know, value. So it's a no-brainer, really. I mean, you could, if you even gonna fly like a 2 or 3 cell quadcopter, and you want one of these just for the battery itself, you know, you could power up the VTX just on that, and it'll probably last you most of the day. So there you have it, 3 types of battery, 1 clear winner, that one. And obviously that's the 500 milliamp an hour version. They do a 750, I think they even do a 950. Now the only thing that I can't seem to get hold of is a battery like this with the MCPX connector on it. They don't seem to do it, or at least I haven't been able to find one where they do it with this connector. I don't know why. That's very odd. So this is why I'm gone down the route of putting the female version of this on the back of my flight board on the end of the plug there, and it'll give me the option to fly these type of low C connector batteries. Or, you know, if I want to revert back to standard, I've got the option of doing that as well. So yeah, I bought a pack of 2 of these. Comes in a pink puncture-proof case. I paid £8 for 2. That's exactly the same price as you would pay for, if you're lucky enough, for 2 of these. You know, or one of these even. Some people selling one of these for that price. But if you hunt around, you can get a twin pack for about the same price, or under a tenner. Well, these 2 of these are £8. So that's £4 each, plus you get like your little protector, you know, your little puncture-proof box. They send you that with it, and you get all your instructions with it and everything. So there you have it. Nanotechs, great little batteries. They last, you know, almost as well as long as a 500 milliamp, but without the weight problem. Excellent for an FPV helicopter, FPV drone that you would normally only get 4 minutes out of, and you know, you could double your time and that. And I've tried it, and they do work. They do claim to work. I know you've got other makes like Tattoo and, you know, other makes like that, really good, but my findings on these 1 cell batteries are brilliant. And as most of the things I've got are only 1 cell, with the exception of a couple of 2 cell, which I might convert up to, as I like these so much. Brilliant, you know. I really can't say much more than that. They are fantastic, you know. So the way to remember it is, if you've got a 300, it will perform like a 500. If you've got a 500, it will perform like a 750, maybe even a 900, something like that, 950. You know, and I do think they go up to something like that. I think they even go up to 1200 on a single cell, something like that. But obviously, you know, you've got to think of the weight and everything. So there you have it. Excellent battery for the money. Lasts longer. It's brilliant. Really can't say more than that. And you know, they actually fit the tiny whoops, and that's always been a problem with these. They, you know, you'll get up to about 3.5, 4 minutes out of it, and that's it. You know, it starts lacking in power and everything. Or you can get a little bit more out of that with one of these. You know, maybe a couple of minutes, depending how you fly. This is mainly an indoor flyer, but I wanted the extra thrust and the extra longevity of the sag. You know, because it starts sagging after a while, especially when you start flying a bit faster. Not that I fly fast indoors, but that's what would happen. So this is the solution. If you don't mind doing a bit of soldering, then you know, forget about getting the race motors you can get for this, because you'll only get about a minute or 2 minutes flight out of them. The best way to go around it, because don't forget, you'll be flying this indoors anyway, is to go for that. You don't need speed indoors. It's fast enough anyway. It's got 3 rates. Go for the battery option, because you'll get that little bit extra power, not much, but you'll get the longevity with the battery, and that's more important. Okay, well, anyway, that's the Nanotech. That's the Turnigy Nanotechs, single cell, but you know, they do all the other cells. Go check it out, buy one, try one. You'll never go back to the standard ones again. These are okay for line of sight, you know, all that. They give about the same sort of time, but you've got to remember, with the batteries, with the camera on it, they're not going to last as long because of the camera sapping the power out of the battery. So this is mainly for FPV, because you want the added time. But you can use it on line of sight, and I've tried them in helicopters, aeroplanes, and these little whoopie things, and the results have been much better than the standard battery. So hence why I bought some more. I've now got four 300 milliamps, and I've got one 500, which is for the aeroplane. I'm going to start getting the 2-cell ones, and we'll see where we go from there. Anyway, well that's my review on the Nanotech batteries. As I said, go ahead, try one, see what you think. You'll never go back to a standard one again after that. Alright, well, I'll catch you in my next video. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.